As shocked as people were that Alabama lost last week to Vanderbilt, I think they'd be even more stunned if they lost again this week to South Carolina. I love that Tennessee defense, but believe it or not, I think Florida's going to see a lot of success against them. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great Thursday. Hope all of you having a great week. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. Man, oh man, it is time for the Alabama versus South Kakalaki preview. I feel like this game is worthy of a prediction/preview video due to the fact of, I don't know, Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. At this point in time, nothing, and let me repeat that, nothing's off the limits for this Alabama football team, and nothing's off the table. If you can lose to Vandy, you can lose to South Kakalaki. I think that's more than fair to say. And let's not act like Kakalaki's some pushover. They're a solid ball club. They almost beat LSU, in which the refs kind of bailed down LSU, but that's a different conversation for a different day. And they destroyed Kentucky by 25 points. Oh yeah, too, in this video as well, we'll also be previewing/predicting the Florida and Tennessee game, but we'll do that after. So let's start out with Alabama and South Carolina first, since I already started talking about them. Let's pull up the line. I have no idea what it is. This is a home game for Alabama, and they are kicking off at 11 a.m. I would assume Alabama's probably around a 12, 13-point favorite. Hold on, pulling it up right here. What? Hold on. Alabama's a 21-point favorite? What? Why? I guess they're thinking, Alabama's going to be mad and pissed off, and they're going to take out their anger on South Carolina, but 21 points, that's a lot. They're acting like South Carolina's a bunch of chumps, and they are most certainly not. Look, I get it. They struggled against Ole Miss last week, but let's not try to sit up here and act like Alabama didn't struggle last week as well. 21 points is a lot if you got to ask me, considering I thought it was going to be around 12 or 13. Does South Carolina have a good offense? No, they do not. I don't think they strike fear in any defensive coordinator's eyes. However, with that being said, Alabama's defense isn't too good. In the last 6 quarters, they've looked pretty bad. And may I remind you, the quarterback last week who gave Alabama some fits and troubles was a dual-threat quarterback who scrambled. In South Carolina, they have a quarterback that's going to scramble in Lenore Sellers. I don't think Sellers is as good as a quarterback as Pavia, but he's a scrambler, and those quarterbacks have been giving Alabama some problems and issues. And here's what makes this preview and prediction so interesting. Similar to last week, Alabama should win this game easily, but, well, you saw what happened last week. They lost. This is obviously not the Alabama teams we have watched the past 15, 16 years with Nick Saban run the show. Much different. Kalen DeBoer currently has a slight culture problem, and what I mean by that is he's having a hard time trying to convince his young men to play hard every single game and every single snap and every single moment of every single game. Last week against Vanderbilt, Alabama didn't look like they wanted to be there, and Vanderbilt was excited to be there, and that's why Vanderbilt was pushing them around. The bully was getting bullied. If you want to use the argument of, Alabama, they were sleeping against Vandy, and Vanderbilt caught them sleeping, I have no problem with that whatsoever, because to a certain extent and degree, you're right. But, and I have a really big but, if Alabama comes out here and they're not looking too hot against South Carolina, I would be worried. There's no excuse of, this is 11 a.m. kickoff, you're not playing a great opponent. No, your eyes should be wide open. You just lost to Vanderbilt. If that wasn't a wake-up call, I don't know what is. I don't know what can get your guys pumped up any more than that. If these Alabama players don't have a fire burning inside of them at that 11 a.m. kickoff, you can throw this season away. It's over. If having one of the most embarrassing losses in program history can't hype you up and motivate you, nothing will. That's what I'm looking forward to see the most in this game. No disrespect to South Carolina, but I know who you are. I know what we're going to get. I'm looking to see how Alabama's going to bounce back, and I think you are too. As an Alabama fan myself, as disappointed as I am in this team, I'm not giving up on them, and I want to see how they're going to bounce back. This game's going to tell you a lot, not only about the state of the team, but the state of the program. It's put up or shut up. It's go time. From here on out, every single game is a playoff game. Your backs are against the wall, and Alabama, you have something to prove. It's clear-cut and evident. This is not one of the Alabama teams we've come to know and see every single year. I want to see if the players are actually going to play hard in this game. I want to see if they want to be there. And also, one thing I'm paying attention to is I want to see if Malachi Moore, Keon Sabb, and all those defensive backs are actually going to play football besides trash talking. Because all they've cared about against Georgia and Vanderbilt, but especially Vanderbilt, was trash talking the other opponent and talking down on them. And guess what? You got your butts whipped last week against Vandy. So maybe, and this is just a maybe, those guys got humbled a little bit and they'll quit talking trash and they'll handle business like they're supposed to. I am beyond sick and tired already. We're not even at the halfway point this season of seeing these Alabama players trash talk and talk down on the opponents after making one decent play. It's as simple as this, and this is all I need to say. Act like you've been there before. To me, I find it even more embarrassing that not only you're trash talking, but you're the number one team in the country and you're trash talking the nerds in Vanderbilt. Give me a break, but let's talk about South Carolina's offense. Are they going to be able to put up a lot of points? Well, have you seen the Bama defense? I'm not even trying to be funny when I say that. Kane Womack, you got to change some things, man. I hope he's changed some things, but I'm sick and tired of seeing cover one robber that's not disguised every single play almost. We got one of the most athletic defenses and fastest defenses in the nation. Send some blitzes. Send 6 or 7 guys at least 30% of the game. We can make up for it. I'd rather give up big chunk plays than watch a team just slowly, methodically pick apart your defense, play after play after play, 5 yards, 7 yards, 10 yards, just like Vandy did. And you best believe South Carolina's OC turned on that Vanderbilt tape, and he's going to try to do the exact same thing their offensive coordinator did. Dink and dime the way down the field, read options, zone reads, get the quarterback out and open, roll them out, do all that nice stuff. I don't expect South Carolina's offense to be as fluent as Vanderbilt's was because they was a well-oiled machine. They quite literally never messed up. But I don't expect this Alabama defense to turn into nothing to something within 1 week. They're still struggling. And I already did a film breakdown and study on this game. A main reason for the lack of success and the main reason they're struggling is because of Kane Womack. He's been terrible. Believe it or not, it's not even the players' fault. It's our defensive coordinators putting them in a terrible position to succeed. We have the potential to be a top 10 defense. I firmly believe that. I saw it against Georgia in the first half. As to why we went away from blitzing and disguising blitzes and coverages, I have no idea. Maybe somebody's paying Kane Womack to throw these games. Don't know. And I know that's a crazy conspiracy theory, but after seeing that Alabama defense in the first half against Georgia, I don't think it's too far-fetched. Alabama has got to be the hunter on defense, not the hunted. Let's talk about when Alabama has the ball, though. South Carolina has one of the best edge rushers in the nation, Dylan Stewart. Big-time players are going to make big-time plays, so he'll probably get a sack or two or a couple tackles for loss. You can almost mark that down. But to tell you the truth, there's not much to say when Alabama has the ball because they've been one of the best offenses in the nation. Nobody's been able to slow them down. I already know somebody's going to say, well, Matt, what about Vanderbilt? They had 2 turnovers. One of those was a crazy tip pass, and the other one was a blindside hit on Milroe. Outside of that, nobody slowed them down, and they still put up 35 points. And listen to this. They only had the ball for 17 minutes. 17 minutes. Insane, man. The Alabama offense, I expect them to dice up that South Kakalaki defense. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I also don't think it's going to be a low-scoring game. As shocked as people were that Alabama lost last week to Vanderbilt, I think they'd be even more stunned if they lost again this week to South Carolina. That would really put Alabama fans in a dark place and send a message to everybody across the nation that, yeah, this is no longer the same Alabama. Home game, 11 a.m., Alabama's coming off of a loss. You got to feel like and expect they're going to be ready to go. One thing to pay attention to in this game outside of Alabama's defense is Alabama's rushing attack. Run the ball! They have 2 of the most talented running backs in the nation in Justice Haynes and Jam Miller, and they don't even use them. Offense line is pretty dang good too, so I don't know why they're not running the ball more. I get it in the Vandy game you fell behind, but in the Georgia one when you're up by 28, how come they're still passing as much as they were? I guess that's the Kalen DeBoer offense, but I just see Alabama run the ball a little bit more because it's not like they can't. They can, they're choosing not to. And when I say run the ball more, let me also emphasize this. I don't mean design quarterback runs. I'm talking about for the running backs. All in all, though, I don't think South Carolina is going to be able to keep up with that Alabama offense. I'll take Bama in this one. Somewhat low scoring for Bama, 31 to South Carolina's 13. Actually, let me change that. I'll say South Carolina 17. So Bama 31, South Carolina 17. Last but not least, before we end out this video, we got another sneaky good game. Tennessee, the Volunteers versus Florida. There is this big misconception about Florida that they just suck, and I'm not here for it because they're not a bad football team. Look, I ain't here trying to convince you that Florida's a good football team. They're not, but they ain't bad. Their 2 losses were to Miami and Texas A&M. Tennessee is a top 10 team. As we saw last weekend, they got upset by Arkansas. Let's pull this game up. I do believe it's in Neyland Stadium. Obviously, Tennessee's going to be favored. Hold on. Okay, Tennessee by 14.5. That also seems a little hefty to me. What's up with the lines on these games? Just seems way too high. I think Tennessee should only be about a 9 or 10 point favorite. And you know what? Here's something pretty insane to think about. I don't think Tennessee has the best quarterback in this game. Yeah, that's right. You heard me correctly. I think Graham Mertz is better than Nico Iamaleava as where it stands right now. I think Nico's going to be special, but he's been struggling early on in SEC play. The more I look at this, the more I think it's going to be a really good game. I don't know how this line is at 14.5 points. That don't make any sense to me because Tennessee's offense is struggling mightily. Fortunately enough though for Tennessee, Florida doesn't have too great of a defense, so maybe they'll get it going there. Although I think Florida has a better quarterback in this matchup, I think Tennessee has a better rushing attack. Teams have been able to run on Florida, so if Tennessee can establish that run, it's going to be hard for Florida to win this game. However, with that being said, if Florida can get a couple of stops, force some 3rd and longs, and make Nico beat him through the air, that is a recipe for success. I love that Tennessee defense, but believe it or not, I think Florida's going to see a lot of success against them. Call me crazy, but I'm feeling the upset. I'm taking the Florida Gators to upset Tennessee in Neyland Stadium. Give me the Gators in this one, 28 to Tennessee's 24. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts on all this down below, but